Здравейте! Надявам се си чуваме добре. Казвам се Владимир Щерев и съм продуктов менеджер на CATIA Infotech. Ние сме официален партньор за България на софтуерния лидер в инженеринговите решения Dassault Systemes. Днес аз и екипът на CATIA имаме удоволствието да сме съорганизатори и домакин на дигиталния семинар Бизнес свързано с 3DEXPERIENCE CATIA, крачка в бъдещето, с гост-лектор, експертът от Dassault Systemes Матео Бенцони. След малко от него ще научите как може успешно да продължите да работите над вашите нови разработки и проекти, използвайки CATIA в облачната среда, стъпвайки на платформата за управление на проекти 3DEXPERIENCE. А сега нямам търпение да започнем и давам думата на Матео Бенцони от Dassault Systemes. Hello, Mateo. It's great to have this webinar with you, and I'm giving you the stage.
Yes, hello. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. So I will start. First of all, I would say thank you. Thank you all for being here, for being connected to this webinar that is about the 3D experience and CATIA on the 3D experience. So first of all, I hope everyone is hearing me well, and I just like to take 10 seconds to present myself. As said, my name is Mateo Benzoni, and I'm the Euromed CATIA sales expert. So I'm mainly focused on CATIA, as my definition says. So presentations are done, and the aim of today is to show you how you can take a step into the future with digital continuity, thanks to CATIA and to the 3D experience platform. So during the next 30 minutes or so, we will see how you can achieve this digital continuity, and you could get some insights on 3D design, on CAD in general, and on new topics very popular today and that will get even more popular in the next years. So hopefully the technology of this webinar will assist us, and let's start. And to understand the future, what we need to analyze briefly is the market trends, because we need to better position where we are right now to be ready for the next months and for the next years. So currently, what we noticed being on the market since so many years is that the products that you need to create are becoming more and more complex in different terms. I'm referring to features. The product must be more complex on what they do. They are more complex in terms of capabilities, and moreover there are lots and lots of variants of each product. But we have to take into consideration also other aspects, and I'm referring to the production processes that are used to create our products. And we need to take into consideration also the ecosystems in which our products will live during their use day by day. Moreover, one big thing to consider is that we need to arrive quickly on the market and with an affordable price to compete every day against manufacturers coming from the Far East mainly, which are becoming more and more present every day. All these trends are translated into typical needs shared by each users. This means that engineering softwares and design tools need to have some key characteristics that can be summarized as follows, let me say. There are functional needs, so these softwares must be modern and cutting edge, mainly ready for the future. They must be also extremely productive to allow us to reach the market quickly and with the desired level of confidence. And they must be simple to use, because the users need to avoid losing time with what we call non-value added activities. And one last thing that became visible, very visible, I would say, with all this virus situation that we are facing right now, is that there is a strong need for collaboration and cooperation between users and departments, even remotely on different locations, because in the future there will be more and more the necessity to work from home or from different locations. So if we want to summarize all this said in 2 words, is it possible? Yes, we can call this simply digital continuity. Digital continuity is a concept that's very fashionable these days, and the 3D experience is the right tool to achieve it. The 3D experience is a business platform that allows all disciplines in a company to operate uniformly, regardless of the industrial sector. And here on the right side of this slide, we can see many industries in which we are used to divide the market. All our brands are cooperating to create a platform, are living inside the platform, each one with its specialization. For example, we have CATIA for the 3D modeling, or we have Simulia for the product simulation and the verification of the products, or Delmia for taking into consideration the production and the manufacturing aspect, or Enovia for the collaboration and the cooperation. And everything that we just named lives and becomes on the 3D Experience platform. Now, I want you to hear from one of our customers something about the 3D Experience platform and CATIA. It's a short video in which different people inside CATIA are explaining how the 3D Experience has helped them to improve the design of their products. Just a quick words on CATIA. CATIA is a big company, big German company, manufacturing industrial and household cleaning tools. Just a simple note, the video is a little bit loud, so I suggest you to turn down a little bit the volume to avoid any problems. Here it goes.
The main advantage of the 3D Experience platform is that we can capture customer requirements efficiently, and that the platform provides digital continuity throughout the entire development process, and thus a clear and coherent solution.
Our CATIA product development process was very abstract before we introduced the platform. Now that we have the 3D Experience platform with integrated project management, we can build our product development process in a structured way, meaning each team member knows exactly what to do and when.
All involved project stakeholders can collaborate on the central system, and errors will be identified very early on, and the final product will go to market much earlier.
The 3D Experience platform allows us to focus on projects and integrate all relevant stakeholders much earlier. These stakeholders are, for example, the patent system or packaging development departments. The transparency in the 3D Experience platform enables us to advance faster in our projects and make the right decisions quicker. Currently, the appliance and electronics development departments are running quite separately, and we want to focus on model-based system engineering to connect these better.
The 3D Experience platform supports our systems engineering approach because it combines mechanical and electrical engineering, and we believe that we can better control the configuration of our products and thus reduce complexity with the platform. We currently use requirement management, project management, and the full suite of CAD applications. In the next step, we'll add portfolio management and downstream processes such as service and production.
Okay, so these were just few words about the 3D Experience video. Hope you are still seeing my screen. Okay, that's it. These were just some words from, as said, CATIA, one of our customers. But now, what I want to go in deep is to understand what happens in a customer where there is no digital continuity. Actually, we will have all different actors involved in the design of a product, and they need to communicate with each other. And this is happening using different systems and softwares, using different files. Usually everything is file-based, so you can really understand that it's quite different. And this entails big waste of time, because there is a lot of what we call low added value activities. Thanks to the 3D experience instead, what we can achieve is better communication, because the times for the communication are extremely reduced, and everyone uses the platform to communicate and to cooperate. So everybody is sharing the same language, referring to a single point of reference. In this way, the platform is the single source of truth, and the 3D model is the common language, easily spoken by everyone. And it is clear that this approach is not giving benefits to a few people, but it gives benefits to multiple categories of people. For example, we have users, because we can allow them, the 3D experience platform allows them to be focused on the real deal, let me say, on the time they have more time to innovate. The managers will reach their target faster, and the executives that will see the whole process covered, resulting in better products that reach faster the market. Speaking of CATIA, therefore, on the 3D experience, there are a number of reasons why it is important to choose it, and which will give a significant strategic advantage for people that uses it. We can say that from high-level design skills, thanks to the efficient 3D engine capable of displaying manipulating assemblies of any size, to the ease of installation and maintenance of a software, of the software itself. And here we can think about the cloud. With CATIA, it's also possible to think about the manufacturing processes that are the ones used for the product. And we can think to include those processes inside the design of our products. Or we can think to include our company knowledge inside the product itself. So basically, including what we call the know-how of the company. To meet all these needs, CATIA has an extremely wide portfolio that covers many areas and many aspects. Mainly, we are serving three categories of users, which you can see here: creative designers, engineers, and system architects. All of those have their single necessities, their specific necessities, and this wide portfolio of CATIA can easily cover all the needs. As said into the introduction, today I will show you some of the things that can be done with our solution on each of these three main areas. The idea is to give just a general overview of some of the things that can be done in CATIA without going too much into the detail, because this is not a technical session. So now let's start with the first category, what we call the CATIA designers. Here we are talking about the industrial designers, people that need to create mainly the style. The main trends can be divided into three pillars. We have creative designers that need to digitalize the product of their creativity and innovation. So they must therefore have efficient and simple tools that allow their thoughts to be translated into 3D models. We have then the surface designers that are those that needs to perfect the model, that needs to detail the model in a very specific way, mainly usually working on surfaces. The last category is what we call decision makers, that are those who need to exploit design tools, perhaps to show products or define strategies. It is important to underline that the basis of our solution is the ability to cover the entire ideational process of the product. An important slice of the added value is precisely in this theme: the ability to cover all the design phases, from the conception of the idea up to the final production phases, going through all what's in the middle, all the intermediate detail phases, having a 3D experience as a central reference. Now, in this video, in the next slide, you can see some of the immense capabilities given by the immersive reality. On the top left, you can see the designer that has the possibility to create directly in the model that he's working on with a complete new feeling. He can perceive the car, in this case, in a whole new way, giving freedom to his new ideas. On the right side, instead, we can see a demonstration of how easy it is to reconstruct a geometry previously scanned with a laser technology and imported with a cloud of points in CATIA. With just a few clicks, is it possible to speed up a job that was previously very time-consuming? So now, let's focus a little bit on the second category of users that we defined before, the engineers, which, by the way, will be, in terms of numbers, the largest bucket of people. In this category of people, we include the ones designing mechanical components of all genres, whether we are talking about sheet metal parts, solid parts generated by casting or milling technologies, for examples, or much more complex products that include high-level shape and surfaces. One of the aspects that we highlighted at the beginning was what we call the advanced engineering. But what does it refer to? I will try to explain it with an example. What would happen if we were not able to manage correctly the transfer of company know-how and experience when a senior engineer retires? Of course, we cannot think to wait for the new hired designer to learn everything by himself, because it simply would take too much time, and probably, maybe, he would never reach the same level of knowledge. So for this reason, in CATIA, there is the possibility to implement rules, requirements, expertise of different type within the 3D model. The common thread is reuse to be more efficient. Therefore, in CATIA, we have the possibility of creating templates and models which integrate the project requirements. Reuse instead of recreating. Accelerate repetitive processes. Ensure compliance within extra and intra-company rules. All of these in the name of greater productivity. Moreover, we saw briefly at the beginning that with the 3D experience, is extremely efficient, handling large and very large assemblies without slowing down, opening each model with no problems and no particular difficulties at all. So, to see some of the capabilities that CATIA has, in this video, we are now starting to see a motorcycle project dashboard. The dashboard is the entry point that all the people working on the project have access to. And we are not talking about only designers or engineers. Even the ones with indirect needs can access to it and get the desired information. And we can think about marketing people, for example. From the dashboard, you can navigate through the information or open the model, launching the client and navigating between the components that compose the assembly. The modification of the part can take place directly in the context of the assembly, and in an extremely simple and rapid way, the user can make changes and see them in place, as in the case of the brake caliper of this motorcycle, which came originally from another bike. So once again, the importance of reuse. Thanks to 3DEXPERIENCE platform, is it possible also to see directly in the assembly all the correct link components, but also the related kinematics. This allows the designers to visually and immediately verify that what he is doing is correct. Moreover, the design of this gearbox was made by including a parametric model that allows the user to automate and modify quickly if necessary. Obviously, in CATIA, you can create perfectly laid out 2D drawings, including information from a bill of material. In the end, two users can cooperate simultaneously, going to act on different parts, but immediately checking the changes made by their colleagues. So this is what we call parallel design. And also we can see the advanced design capabilities given by CATIA, allowing to accelerate the design while constantly checking feasibility of the part. So now we have a very quick and brief overview of general CATIA standard mechanical capabilities, but what I would like to show you now is something special, something new that would really extend the potential of your products. And I would like to talk to you about what we call cognitive augmented design. This is a new design methodology that allows you to generate new shapes for your products. Before, during the design process of a part, of a component, we were used to ask ourselves, does this shape meet the requirement that I've been given? Now we are trying to change the paradigm here and actually working on the opposite direction. So now the question that we are making is, what is the best shape that meets my requirements? This is a new philosophy behind the design approach. And what we need to do is just to exploit the hardware and CATIA to optimize our component, our part, on the basis of the function that this component must fulfill. The results are shapes previously unthinkable, and that can be optimized for a standard production technologies such as milling, for example, or can be optimized for additive technologies like 3D printing. And the hinge that you see in this picture, in this example, can be quite simple to understand. On the left, you can see the hinge how it was designed yesterday with standard technologies. And on the right side, you can see how it can be designed today thanks to cognitive augmented design with a light lattice structure that guarantees the same performances. So now let's see a quick video of cognitive augmented design in shape. With few simple steps, the user, which should not be an expert, can define a work area, can define loads and constraints or other parameters necessary for the calculation. And thanks to a step-by-step graphic user interface, he can set up everything and can launch the optimization, and the system iteratively calculates the optimized part. The interface will allow them to compute, to compare between different scenarios. And for example, we can consider standard manufacturing processes or 3D printing processes, and further refine and detail the component to prepare it for real production. So it's quite a change of pace in the design of our products. So now let's focus a little bit on the last category of users that we defined earlier, is that what we call system architects, mainly those who deal with defining the structure, the architecture of the products. If we consider the complexity of today's products, we can easily see that there are multidisciplinary aspects that must be considered. Once again, we need to think that we have to cover the whole process to get the best benefits out of it. So we're talking about model-based system engineering, a particular design approach that allows to consider the needs, transform them into requirements, and use them as the main drivers of the architecture of our product. So the 3D model will be then the derivation of the requirements of the architecture, allowing us to have the digital twin of our product. One of the areas in which this approach is well known and well used is the electrical design of cablings, of wirings, in general, electrical cablings. In CATIA, we have an extremely advanced solution going back from many years right now, that is continuously evolving, and that spans from the requirements to the functional analysis and the architecture of the systems, going up to the logical definition and the physical definition of the products, of the electrical cablings, to finish to the manufacturing preparation of documentation needed for production phases. So now I want to show you a quick video, a brief example of how is it possible to start from a 2D scheme of a wiring system of an automotive seat, the airbag, scheme of an automotive system that is defined pin by pin, so mainly from one connector to the other, as we can see. And we can simply proceed very easily and rapidly to define all the cables from pin to pin with all the necessary information to create the cabling itself. With this phase done, is it really immediate to understand, guided by the platform and by the digital twin, to understand if all the pins are connected? And we saw right before the green ones, which were connected, and the red ones not connected. After the 2D, after the scheme is done, we can go simply through the definition of the 3D model of our cablings. So what happens is mainly going through the 3D model of the automotive seat that we are talking about. Is it possible to define the position of the of each wires, simply going through and clicking with the mouse on the 3D model and routing the path of our cable? This can be easily achieved thanks to the CATIA and thanks to the 3DEXPERIENCE platform, and we can verify that all the connectors have been correctly placed. The system at the end will give us automatically the size and the length of the wires. In this case, again, we are covering the whole process. So once the 3D model is done, we can quickly and easily create nail boards and manufacturing with all the manufacturing data necessary for the productions. So in conclusions, we have seen how important is it for a modern company to anticipate the future. One of the best ways to do so is to reach as soon as possible the digital continuity that will allow us to face the new challenges that will come along with the years. This can be easily achieved thanks to the 3DEXPERIENCE platform and CATIA on the 3DEXPERIENCE platform, which are modern solutions created to reduce engineering time while increasing efficiency in the whole design process, leveraging our real-time collaboration, faster and user-friendly apps. I really think that we are perfectly on time because it's 12:27 your time, so it took almost 30 minutes. My presentation is over. You will have the registration of the recording of this session. You will have a link to download it, to re-watch it if needed. I really think we have some more minutes to reply to some questions, actually, if any. So please be free to use the chat that you should have on the right side of your screen, and feel free to ask whatever you want. I'll try to reply. Otherwise, just let me say that if time will run out, we will take your questions and reply them separately by email. So don't worry.
Okay.
I'm here for you.
Thank you, Матео, for this outstanding presentation. Благодаря на всички участници, включили се днес. Сега в оставащите 2-3 минути може да зададете въпросите си в чат менюто на приложението вдясно на вашите екрани. И аз ще избера един въпрос на случайен принцип, който ще задам на Матео на живо. На всички останали въпроси най-вероятно няма да остане време и ще отговорим по-отделно в имейл след края на семинара. Ето и един интересен въпрос. Матео, one question from the chat.
Yeah.
The question is, the biggest issue we have in Bulgaria, but also in other countries, is not the software, but the people who skilled to use such type of software.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? How we should qualify people to be able to work with CAD and PLM tools in the future, and how long it takes to have an experienced guy ready to work in the industry with the solutions of Dassault Systemes?
Okay. It's a very interesting question. and quite complex also, but I'd like to be as simple as can. So I can say that all the Dassault System tools are created to be very easy to use. Also thanks to user interface that we try to study them to be as friendly as possible. There are a series of details that are created to simplify the life of the users, of the engineers, of the designers. What I'd like to underline is that, of course, here we're talking about advanced software. We're talking about engineering. We're talking about design. So this is not something that can be done by everyone. The users need to have some sort of technical background. But once this is given, let me say, then the software is not really hard to use. What is really important to underline is that thanks to our partner and you in ICAD, above all, we are always able to directly be involved on the market to help the customers that could have needs. So trainings, remote sessions, live support, everything that can help our customer to be much more efficient, to learn, is something that we normally do. We as Dassault Systems and you as ICAD, as partner. And correct me if I'm wrong here.
No, not of course.
I hope I replied correctly and enough, let me say, to the questions
yes,
of your customer.
Thank you for your lesson, Матео. I think you couldn't say it better.
Okay.
Благодаря още веднъж на всички, които се включиха. За съжаление, времето ни изтече. Надявам се, че този вебинар е бил интересен и полезен за вас. Може да следите за всички други наши събития на нашата интернет страница hicat-infotech.bg и в социалните мрежи. За да не изпускате информация, може да се регистрирате и за нашия бюлетин и така ще може да бъдете в крак с развитието на дигиталните технологии в инженерството и индустрията. В идните дни ще ви изпратим презентацията и видеозаписа на семинара и ще отговорим на всички въпроси, на които не успяхме днес. Благодаря ви много. Thank you, Матео, again. It was a great presentation.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to the event, to this webinar, and thank you all. Thanks to all the participants.
Thank you, Матео. Благодаря ви на всички. До скоро виждане. Бъдете здрави.